Hey everyone, Ryan here from Dorklords Game Club with another Warhammer 40k bat rep. Tonight we have two veterans fighting. We have our first ever challenge. John has driven all the way from Belleville, Ontario with his Tau to challenge Kirk and his Orks. Will the greater good prevail, or will the green tide crush all? There's only one way to find out. Let the battle commence.
Prepare yourselves for mayhem as two clubs collide in our first challenge battle report. Throwing down the gauntlet for the greater good, it's the Tau Empire. Their opponents are the green mean fighting machine, it's the Orks. This is 1500 points of the Emperor's Will with Vanguard Strike deployment. Let's go to the generals.
Hi, my name's John. I'm one of the original Dorklords, and unfortunately I have moved a distance away, but I've traveled 5 hours distance just to come to challenge Kirk against the Orks with my greater good Tau army, and they just wanted him to join with the greater good, but unfortunately he has turned me down, joining such a wonderful, wonderful race, and therefore they must be destroyed, unfortunately for them. So we'll see how it goes with this 1500 point army.
Boy, those Tau love to talk. Let's check out their army. First up is 3 units of fire warriors, each 12-man squad with a marker light drone. They also have a bonding knife in there to help them regroup. Then one of John's 2 HQ choices, an ethereal. If this guy dies, he can potentially grant the rest of the infantry units in John's army the preferred enemy role. He has a bodyguard of elite fire warriors. In fast attack we have stealth suits here. The leader has a marker light, bonding knife and fusion blaster. The others have burst cannons, all of them have jump packs, stealth and shrouded. 2 mighty broadside battle suits next. They've actually been taken as 2 separate heavy choices. They have targeting arrays, twin-link railguns and smart missiles. Then this beast is the Tau Hammerhead. This skimmer has gun drones, black sun filters and a multi-tracker. Also in fast, the notorious Tau Pathfinders. They have pulse carbines with marker lights and a scout special rule. They are accompanied by the compulsory Devilfish transport with gun drones and a burst cannon. Last but not least, Commander Shazo, the HQ and Warlord. He has a plasma rifle, a shield generator, and an air fragmentation projector, iridium armor to boot, and black sun filters. That's the Tau.
Hi, I'm Dorklord Kirk, also known as Skarshak online, and I'm challenging John and his Tau, with my Orks. I'm gonna eat them up alive.
That's fighting talk from the Orks. Let's check out their army. First up, the scourge of many a tabletop, boasting a 4-foot range, strength 7 and AP 4, it's the Looters. Kirk has in fact taken 2 units of these, taking up 2 elite slots in his army. Deadly. The green tide starts here with a squad of 12 boys led by a knob with a power claw, boss pull and heavy armor. They are rolling in a truck with a big shooter, ram and red paint job. Next up it's a squad of 12 Ard boys, also with a knob with power claw and boss pull. Their truck also comes in red with a ram on the front. Filling out the elites is a 10-man crew of knobs with pain boy and a mix of power claws, big choppers and a combi scorcher. They also have a truck with the standard armaments. Number 1 in fast attack is a couple of death copters with twin-link rockets and a second squad of the same. Then the big boss. This is a mega armoured war boss with attack squig, power claw, cyborg body armour and twin-link shooter. Then he's accompanied by these very colourful mega armoured knobs with combi scorchers and shooters. The whole crew is rolling to war in this truck with a big shooter and ram. That's 1500 points of green fury. In the grim darkness of the far future, there can be only war and one winner. The Tau gunline has placed their red objective counter behind this bastion. Meanwhile, the Orks have tucked their objective counter in this ruin with the looters. Let's get it on! Before we kick off, the Pathfinders infiltrate behind this ruin, one of the many pieces brought to us by Tabletop Battle Terrain. It's Tau turn 1. Leading by example, the Tau commander strides forwards. Following the lead of their warlord, this squad of fire warriors moves up in support. Just as eager to take the fight to the foe, the ethereal squad moves up with guns at the ready. And the Devilfish skimmer transport heads for the Ork left flank. The tank then chooses to deploy its gun drones. They move up to 6 inches from the mothership. Meanwhile, to the left of the Tau objective, behind the bastion, the last fire warrior squad takes position. The hammerhead begins its strafing movements. This skimmer tank also deploys its drones. 3 terrain tests for the jump pack stealth suits then, who moved into this ruin. One of them actually fails, so he has to take an armor save. And he actually dies. First blood to the ruin. Pretty assertive movement from the Tau then, setting up their fields of fire and preparing to shoot. The left flank fire warriors flash a marker light at these death copters, but they miss. Next, the squad rapid fires. They manage 10 hits and 6 wounds. Kirk has saves to make there, needing 4s. It's a pretty good roll, he only fails 2. That's 1 dead death copter. Next, the Pathfinders in the building exploit their position and fire at the looters in this crater. They use marker lights. Here they go, and they manage 2 hits. John marks those with a dice beside the looter unit. The Tau then spend 1 marker light point to lower the looter's cover save as the hammerhead launches a large blast. The tank scatters a couple of inches, so still hits 2 looters. 2's to wound then. And they just about manage it, 2 wounds. 6 up cover, both fail. That's 2 dead looters. This unit of fire warriors tries to light up the last chopper, but the marker light misses. They fire anyway, managing 4 hits, but no wounds at all. Twin link pulse carbines on the drones try for the copter now. They need 5s to hit, but both miss. Twin link though, which saves the day, and they actually get a hit through. They manage to wound, but the death copter saves. Determined to bring it down, the Devilfish tries a burst cannon volley at the copter, but all shots miss. The stealth suits next have a crack. They're going for this nearby truck full of meganobs. The large dice is the fusion blaster, small dice is the burst cannon. They manage 1 hit. It's strength 5 going for armor 10, so that glances. 2 hull points left on the truck. The nearest fire warrior team guns for the same truck now, trying to bring it down. They miss with their marker light and get a bunch of hits and 2 pens and 1 glance. Yes, 2 pens, 1 glance. The truck then ramshackles, getting the careen result, going 8 inches in the direction of Kirk's choosing, so naturally he goes straight towards the enemy. Out come the meganobs. The crater beneath their feet is filled with a suspicious green liquid, but it's best not to dwell on that. That's first blood to the Tau Empire. Those meganobs can't wait to get stuck in. Let's see if the nearby stealth suit was hurt by the blast. Indeed, he was wounded. Can he make a cover save? Yep, he's fine. Now for the knobs, are they hurt by the blast? A couple of wounded on 5s there, so that's 2+ saves to be made. One is failed. One wound is taken by a Mega Nob. Seeing an opportunity, the commander fires his AP2 plasma rifle at the newly revealed Mega Nobs. He has ballistic skill 5 and manages 1 hit and 1 wound. It's AP2, so a 5-up cover save is required, which fails. That's another wound. Next, the broadside in the building rattles off its twin-link railgun. He manages a hit, and it's strength 10, so he pens on a 1. He rolled a weapon destroyed and the truck lost the hull point. Now for the other broadside, that's going for another truck. This one also hits, and it's gonna pen on a 1. It's a strength 10 gun, so no problem there at all. And that's another hull point and a weapon destroyed. The last Fire Warrior team guns for the Mega Nobs. They get 9 hits. I need 3s to wound here. 2+ saves for the Mega Nobs then. Oh, that's a wound. 1 takes a wound. And save, 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 save. This is a save storm. Saves everywhere. Yep, saves right across the board. So after all that noise, only 1 Mega Nob takes a flesh wound. End of the phase morale checks now, and the looters actually run away. And they go right off the table, so that unit is removed from play. The Death Copter passes his check though, he's loving it. In the assault phase, the commander puts himself in harm's way, and the drones zip forwards. The last 2 stealth suits jump away from the ruins that beat up their friend, having to make dangerous terrain checks. The first one passes, and the second one passes, no further mishap. The fight back begins in Ork turn 1. The mega armoured Nobs lumber slowly out of the crater, 2 inches towards the tower lines. And the trucks get rolling. This one passes its terrain check and rumbles onwards. Then the copters get going, whizzing over the terrain to get behind enemy lines. They're trying for an angle on the Hammerhead's rear armour here. And a failed terrain check for the solo copter means it takes a wound as it leaves the terrain. Mere inches from the tower objective here, it's a shame it can't score. The other trucks in the fleet rumble forwards, closing in on the squishy tower. The Ork horde is getting dangerously close to the tower lines now. Someone's about to get stomped. Ork shooting first though, with this copter going for front armour. He misses, but those rockets are twin linked, so he gets a hit, but fails to glance or pen. The Hammerhead is fine. Then the other 2 death copters go for rear armour here. They're only ballistic skill 2, so they do require 5s to hit. The first copter fires and misses and fails its twin link, but the second one hits. It's strength 8 into rear armor 10 here, so they only need 2s to do anything. Can they do it? Yep, that's a glance. The Devilfish loses a hull point, down to 2. Screaming for vengeance, these looters want to avenge their comrades by generating maximum shots against these fire warriors. They get loads of hits and a massive 8 wounds AP4. Only 5-up cover saves for these fire warriors now. Can he make them? Only 1 is made. Wow, that is brutal. The fire team is decimated by the Dakka. The Mega Nobs open up with shooters and twin link shooters at the tower commander now. They need 5s as well. Twin linking some shots here, and in the end they're up against toughness 4, so 4 saves to be made. 1 2-up save is failed, so the commander is down to 3 wounds. Well done, guys. This truck is a fast vehicle, so it decides to move a little further, but the other truck decides to skulk behind terrain. The fire warriors who got shot up must make a morale check, but they're fine on a 5. The assault phase begins with the mega armoured Nobs charging the lone Tau commander. He totally fluffs his overwatch and is surrounded. The Tau HQ throws down the gauntlet to the Ork war boss. They are in a challenge. He only manages to get one hit, but somehow manages to wound the Ork. Mega armor save here. The Ork war boss shrugs it off. Attacks back from the Ork now. Wow, triple one. He uses the Get 'em Boss roll here to try and reroll one of those dice to improve the result, but another one, unbelievable. He rolls to wound now, and a further double one, that is shocking. The dice gods are fickle, and the Tau commander makes an invul save. An act of heroism is rewarded, this fight will go on. Somehow, against all odds, the Tau commander survives. At the end of the turn, the Orks have hit home, but the dice gods are truly trolling. Meanwhile, there are skirmishes on the Tau left flank with the Deathcopters. Tau Empire, turn 2. The stealth suits move. They decide to stay clear of that ruin this time. The survivors of this fire team realise their commander has saved them from the wrath of the Meganobs, and they withdraw 6 inches. And the Ethereal squad makes a tactical withdrawal, setting up for another volley against their attackers. On the Tau left flank, the 2 units of 2 gun drones continue their advance, with the slightly damaged Devilfish bringing up the rear. Meanwhile, the Hammerhead strafes, retaining its jink, and this unit of Fire Warriors moves up towards the edge of the ruined archway, cementing Tau control of the left flank. The last unit of Fire Warriors moves as well, creating a new deadly corridor of fire, putting themselves between the Orks and the objective. A lot of manoeuvres then as the Tau infantry efficiently alters its fields of fire, their warlords challenge buying them precious time. The Hammerhead begins the shooting then with a long-ranged effort against this truck. It manages to hit, and of course pens. The damage result is only a 1, but it gets +2 for being AP1, +1 for the target being open-topped, and +1 as all the weapons are already destroyed, so that truck is immobilized. The remnants of this Fire Warrior squad try to finish off the truck. They manage 4 hits, needing 5s to glance now. That's 3 glances, the truck is toast. The ramshackle makes it explode. How far does the blast reach? 4 inches. Out goes the truck and in comes a crater. Some very dizzy looking Orks in there, none of them are hurt though. Those are the Nobs with Painboy. Next, 2 of the drones shoot at these Deathcopters. Their shots are twin linked. One of them hits, and the twin link makes both of them hit actually. Strength 5 guns against toughness 5 copters. 4's needed. 1 wound gets through. Jinx save for the copters now. Can they make a 5+? No, that's a wound. A long range effort from the Pathfinders in the tower. They are firing Markolites down at the recently ejected Nobs. They hit twice with their Markolites, and then this squad of nearby Fire Warriors decides to take advantage, upping their ballistic skill with one of those Markolite points so they can hit on 2s, and they are within rapid fire range. Wow, that's a lot of hits. Loads of strength 5 coming in, wounding on 3s here. Okay, the Orks have 14 4+ armor saves to make. They make 4, but because they have the Painboy, they need to make 5 up Feel No Pains now. In the end of all that craziness, they suffer a total of 6 wounds. With 2 wounds apiece, 3 Nobs die. It's railgun time, going for this crippled truck. It manages to hit. Now it's auto-penning here really, so he doesn't need to roll, but yes, the truck is definitely destroyed. He doesn't even need to roll on the damage chart either, because we use the special Ork result for that, the Ork table. It's a careening ramshackle, going in a direction of Kirk's choosing, and it goes 13 inches before exploding. 3 boys are killed in the explosion, and the rest are in yet another crater. These fire warriors hit with a marker light at those same beleaguered boys, then use it to boost their ballistic skill to 4. They manage 7 hits, and they need 3s to wound. 5 wounds then against the Orc boys, and only 1 dies. 4 up saves. The stealth suits gun for the same unit of boys. They only manage 1 hit and 1 wound. 4 up armor save for the boy, and he fails. Another one off the back this time. 1 more for the dead pile. Smart missiles from the broadside at those Deathcopters. He manages 3 hits. Strength 5 here, so needing 4s, but getting nothing. Morale checks at the end of the shooting phase then. This unit of boys gets a double 1, they're fine, and the other one scores with 5, so they pass 2. The assault phase begins. Stealth suits moving safely this time. And now for the showdown of the game so far, that challenge. The Tau Commander swings first. Only 1 hit. That is not good. And he fails to wound. Here comes the War Boss. 5 attacks and 5 hits. Strength 10, AP 2 Power Claw. This is going to be messy. 2's needed. And that is 5 wounds. 5 invols for the Tau hero to make it. If he fails even 1, he is dog food. Yep, that's a 1. He goes down. The Tau HQ is stomped like a pop can, and that's a point for the Orcs. They've got the scent of blood now. That's a 6-inch roll for their consolidation. The Fire Warriors can only watch in horror as their commander is eviscerated. The Orcs get a Warlord kill. The sound of Fire Warriors weeping heralds the beginning of Orc turn 2. The badass Deathcopter is still alive and hunting Hammerhead, and these boys that survived the truck explosion come 3 inches out of their crater looking for some serious payback. Next to them is the remnants of that unit of knobs with the Pain Boy. They also climb out of their crater. The Orcs are closing in for the kill here. The Tau Ethereal and his bodyguard are in their sights. That's a lot of boys. The Fire Warriors, whose lives were saved by the now departed Tau Warlord, are hemmed in by the Meganobs. Something tells me they will not be escaping this time. Squish squish. And the 2 Deathcopters finally emerge from the terrain safely, racing after the Devilfish. Green ninjas spring out of this hidden truck, getting a clever flank on the drones menacing the Orc objective. Orc shooting now, starting with the looters at the Devilfish. They generate 10 shots in total. They need 5s to hit and 5s to glance. That's 1 glance, so a single jinx save needed by the Devilfish. Needs a 5 up, and he makes it. Deathcopters fire rockets into the same skimmer now. Twin link needed for those, and that's 1 hit. His cocked die doesn't help him out. It is strength 8 into rear armor, so it's a 2 to glance. And he penetrates. This could be big. He has to roll on the damage table now, but no real effect. The other chopper goes for the rear armor of this Hammerhead, but doesn't do so well. And this huge mob of boys actually has pistols and goes for the drone. Zillions of shots as usual with Orcs, but yeah, only 2 wounds. 1 drone bites the dust. Poor little guy. His buddy weeps. On the Orc left, the Ard boys shoot now. They get a couple of hits and a couple of wounds. 2 armor saves needed for the Fire Warriors. 1 fails and dies. Now the knobs open up with a flamer and some pistols. Long story short, the dice shot for this is actually lost in the warp, but basically 6 Fire Warriors die. They get absolutely barbecued. It's high time we had some assaults. These boys survive Overwatch to make their disordered charge on the drones. And these 2 copters assault the Devilfish on this flank. The Hammerhead tank gets assaulted as well. and these knobs assault over the wall into the Ethereals unit. The Overwatch does nothing at all, not a scratch on them, and they have to roll 3d6 and drop the highest for their charge. They manage to roll a 6 here, so they make it over the wall and into those Fire Warriors. They're getting stuck in. The nearby Ard Boys also assault, going 9 inches and joining the knobs in the combat. That's going to get messy. Speaking of messy, the knobs also get into close combat with this squad. The first combat then, one of the two Deathcopters actually dies due to the flechette defensive weapon from the Devilfish. The other one manages to hit though, and needs a 6 to do anything at all, and gets nothing. The other Deathcopter tries its luck on the heavy support hopper tank here. It has 3 attacks and auto hits, but still doesn't manage to get anything. The drones actually have the highest initiative here, so they attack first. But they get nothing. Then a zillion Ork attacks, lots of hits, and 12 wounds are caused. And under sheer weight of attacks, the drones go down and Orks consolidate. In this assault, the Mega Knobs get hit by the drone first. It hits, but fails to wound. Initiative order now, so the Fire Warriors are going in. They actually get some hits here, and actually manage a wound. Mega Armored save. Oh, it's a fail. Wow. One mighty Fire Warrior puts down a Mega Armored Knob. That is the stuff of legend. Well, the knob was injured first, but it's still pretty good. Then this happens. And yeah. The rest of the squad is gutted by Power Claws. The knobs consolidate to watch their comrades over the wall in the fight between these two squads, the knobs, the Ard Boys and the Ethereals team. The knobs actually go first and get loads of hits. 9 wounds. The Ethereal is actually striking simultaneously, but the only wound that gets through is saved. At the end, there's actually 7 failed saves by the Tau. The whole squad is wiped out. They make 3 saves, but it's just not enough. So, that squad is annihilated. The Ethereal dies as well though, so the special rule, the price of failure, kicks in, so some of the surviving Tau units could potentially get preferred enemy now. After some consolidation rolls, the Ard Boys and Knobs surge onwards. 4 inches for the Knobs, and 2 inches for the boys there. So, with turn 2 over, the Tau have been bloodied. The Orks have steamrolled right through them and are nearing the objective. Be ready for a gripping conclusion to this 40k battle in part 2.